Hi guys, so this is kind of a more impromptu video. I'm just doing this like vlog style. I came across something today that kind of made me a little upset, and it reminded me of something I saw when I was looking at breeders in the area where I lived before I got Riley. I had come across a breeder who specialized in what they called naturally reared puppies. These were actually Bichon puppies. It was one of the breeds I looked into, and at first I was so confused. I was like, what is a naturally reared puppy? Like, I didn't understand it. And I dug a little deeper on their website, and they actually advocate for no vaccinations for their dogs. I couldn't believe it at first. I'd obviously heard about the anti-vax movement. It's unfortunately pretty big right now in the world, but I had no idea it had spread to dogs and cats and like domesticated pets. But apparently it has. There are a surprising lot of pet anti-vaxxers in the world right now. It's really sad and upsetting to think about. These people are putting their dogs' lives at risk because they believe this mumbo-jumbo, unscientific research that vaccinations are going to cause autism in dogs and vaccinations make your dog sick. I've been reading studies and articles and websites all day today, just kind of immersing myself in this alternate world, and it's scary. I mean, these people believe that okay, so one of the things I read was that they think the reason that vets give vaccinations on the leg is because the vet knows the animal's going to develop cancer at the site of the injection, and they're going to have to amputate the limb to save the dog's life. Like, what is that? I don't get it. They believe that vaccinations cause autism in dogs, that they cause arthritis, that they cause cancer, they cause all of these things, and it's just, there's no scientific evidence to back up their research at all. It's just these unverified claims that they just spew out like it's fact. And it's scary because so many people believe them. So many people don't get their dogs vaccinated because of this. And I don't want to see this happening. I don't want it spreading like it has in humans. And putting so many dogs at risk and putting people at risk, honestly, because, you know, there are diseases and viruses that dogs can spread to humans that are fatal. I mean, all you have to think of is rabies. Dogs get vaccinated for rabies, but people on these websites are telling you not to vaccinate your dog at all, ever, which includes never giving them a rabies shot. So if you don't vaccinate your dog and say they get bitten by an infected animal that has rabies, your dog is probably going to die. And if your dog bites someone and they don't get treated, they're probably going to die too. Like, that's terrifying. And they don't even understand how vaccines work. They think vaccines make the dog sick, that they give them the virus somehow. And that's simply not true. I mean, a vaccine for a dog works the same way as a vaccine in a human child works. When your dog gets a vaccine for something like distemper, it causes your dog's body to create something called antibodies that help fight this disease, so that if your dog ever encounters the bacteria that causes distemper, it already has an immune system that's prepared to fight it off. It doesn't give the disease to the dog so that the dog gets sick. Now, this kind of misconception could result in the fact that if you vaccinate an already sick dog, it's not going to work. If your dog already has distemper, You can't vaccinate them for distemper. You have to give it to a healthy dog. Your dog needs a healthy immune system in order to build the right amount of antibodies to fight the virus in the first place. So what are the core vaccines that are recommended? So right now, distemper, parvovirus, canine hepatitis, and rabies are the 4 core vaccines. Now, these vaccines are usually given to puppies at 6, 9, and 12 weeks of age. The rabies vaccine is usually given at 16 weeks. That's when my puppy's getting it. These diseases and these viruses are oftentimes fatal, especially in young puppies who don't have the immune system needed to fight them off. I mean, let's take rabies, for example. Every year, rabies kills an estimated 59,000 people. And these occur in regions of the world where dogs aren't regularly vaccinated for rabies. And even in the United States, before the 1960s, most cases of rabies were caused by bites from domesticated animals like dogs. But now, thanks to the rabies vaccination, 90% of rabies cases in humans are actually caused by wildlife bites, not from domesticated pets. Not to mention that the number of cases every year has plummeted from like 100 cases a year to like 1 or 2. Now, a lot of people are actually exposed to the virus, so a lot more than 1 or 2 are bitten, but they don't actually get rabies because they get the vaccine, the human vaccine. I just think the scary thing is that because we don't see these diseases very often anymore, people think they don't exist anymore, so they don't have to worry about it. Like, why should I get my dog vaccinated for rabies? No one gets rabies anymore. Except in places where they don't vaccinate them, people get rabies. Dogs get rabies. So I don't want to think about it as, should I vaccinate my dog or should I not vaccinate my dog? Because that's not even the right question. Vaccinating your dog protects not only your dog, but the rest of the canine world and the human world. You're putting a lot of animals at risk if you don't vaccinate your dog. What we can talk about is the schedule for vaccinating dogs and the certain types of vaccines that some people and the certain types of vaccines that some dogs need and maybe others don't. A lot of vets right now are taking into consideration the lifestyle that you and your dog lead when it comes to vaccinations. So if, say, your dog is kenneled on a regular basis or groomed on a regular basis or exposed to dogs that maybe aren't vaccinated or like stray dogs on a regular basis, they're going to want you to get vaccinated for kennel cough. So they're taking into consideration the pet's lifestyle before they're making decisions about what to vaccinate the dog for. They're also not vaccinating dogs every year anymore for the most part. A lot of veterinarian offices are doing every 3-year vaccinations. And I know sometimes it's scary that they warn you that, you know, your dog could have a reaction to a vaccine. I was warned when Riley got vaccinated, when he had his first shot with me, they warned me that, you know, he could have an allergic reaction. He didn't. He had a mild reaction to the vaccine where he was very lethargic and sleepy, and he cried when he moved his leg because he obviously had pain at the injection site. But that's a normal reaction, and that only lasted the day that he was vaccinated, and then the next morning he was fine. He was back to his regular self, no memory of the vaccine at all. And these kind of reactions are normal. I mean, what's not normal is an allergic reaction, like an anaphylactic reaction, in which case you have to bring your dog to a veterinarian immediately and they can be treated and most likely they'll be fine. And you know what? If your dog does react badly to vaccines, the veterinarian can pre-treat them with like an antihistamine or a steroid to kind of help them ease through the symptoms of their reaction. That way they might not even have a reaction at all. So there are things that we can do to make vaccines easier and better for us and dogs, but skipping them entirely or just refusing to have them is very dangerous. So if anybody gets anything from this video, it's just please vaccinate your dog. Please. these diseases that they can be exposed to from other dogs, from wildlife, they're very dangerous. They're contagious, and they can oftentimes be fatal. So please vaccinate your dog. Okay, so that's my little rant for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. You took something from this. Show it to someone who's kind of iffy about vaccinations maybe. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.